It's unbelievable. This report only shows one side and it forgets the whole context. It forgets that we were attacked and Hamas murdered 1,200 Israelis. It doesn't mention that. Does that make sense? It doesn't mention that Hamas is hiding within hospitals, within mosques, within schools. So when we shoot at a location that Hamas took over, if you forget that or if you omit that deliberately, it totally skews everything. I have to say, this is a sloppy and slanted report.
The media is trash. Just putting it out there, in case you didn't know any better. The question that is being discussed in this clip over here is Israel committing a genocide? And they're talking about it by the sloppy and slanted UN report that just came out. So take a look at this reporter from the BBC in his line of questioning, how he asks Naftali Bennett. He's so hostile when asking these questions and so obviously on the side of Hamas that it's a joke. So let's watch this clip together and then talk about it. But first, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Check this out.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. If you were in power now, would you also, like Netanyahu, be dismissing this as anti-Semitic, or would you be engaging with eminent international scholars and lawyers and countries and trying to temper or looking at tempering your behavior and language?
Well, I read every page of this 72-page report, talked to international experts, and I have to say, it's unbelievable. This report only shows one side and it forgets the whole context. It forgets that we were attacked and Hamas murdered 1,200 Israelis. It doesn't mention that. Does that make sense? It doesn't mention that Hamas is hiding within hospitals, within mosques, within schools. So when we shoot at a location that Hamas took over, if you forget that or if you omit that deliberately, it totally skews everything. I have to say, this is a sloppy and slanted report. That's just the fact.
Well, didn't you just hear what Navi Pillay said? She said on October the 10th, 2023, they came out and said Hamas had committed war crimes. They didn't need to say it in this report. They've already said it.
No, but I'll give you an example. On page 49, they talk about Israel attacking a hospital. But that attack on the hospital was because Mohammed Sinwar, the architect of this massacre in the war, was hiding there and fighting there. So is that not sloppy? Any reasonable and decent viewer of this show right now would say, whoa, that doesn't make sense. It's as if you're walking on the street, you're being attacked by someone who's trying to stab you to death, you shoot him, and then she comes in and says, oh, you shot that guy, but forgets to tell everyone that they were trying to stab you to death. That's ridiculous.
So you are as in denial about what the experts have found, what the judges have found, what the international scholars have found as the Prime Minister. I mean, what is the difference between you and Benjamin Netanyahu when you have been criticizing his government for turning Israel into an international pariah?
I think there's a lot of debate domestically. I think the government is a lousy, incompetent government. But I'm defending my country now, and I'm defending the acts of the IDF, and I can say unequivocally that a country that lets 2 million tons of food, 1.6 million actually of food, and another 400,000 of other resources in, which is enough for 2 years, that is not genocide. And when you send leaflets and text messages, millions of text messages before we attack a Hamas base in a building, that's war. And in fact, a more humane conduct than anyone that's done it. Even your own country, the UK and Iraq had a 3-to-1 ratio in the Iraqi war, meaning 3 civilians were killed for every militant.
I mean,
with Israel, it's 1-to-1.
These are all old arguments,
so
Mr. Bennett. You're not engaging with the facts in this report. That this report goes through in detail the actions of the IDF, why they are genocidal, the words of the Prime Minister and the President and the former Defense Minister. You're not engaging on the substance. You're just trotting out all the old defense lines that the Israeli government has done for 2 years.
Did you not listen to me over the past 2 minutes? I was referring to specific pages, to the specific report. I read, unlike you, every one of the 72 pages. So I'm telling you,
that's the same thing that they said at the time about that hospital attack.
But it's true.
The
Muhammad
point is,
Sinwar was
even if
there.
you're targeting
I don't
Hamas,
understand
that doesn't give you carte blanche to attack anybody.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we are attacking Hamas facilities. Now, the fact is that Hamas has turned almost every other home, hospital, school in the Gaza Strip into a terror base. This is unprecedented. This never happened in the history of war. And so they hold responsibility. Now, let me ask you, how can an entire report about a war between Israel and Hamas that was instigated by Hamas not mention Hamas? Doesn't that sound a bit strange?
Because it's not a report into Hamas. She explained that in her interview. It's an investigation into allegations of war crimes by the Israeli forces. That's what this report is about. Anyway, I mean, it's clear. It's clear that your position is the same as the government on this.
No, my position is of an Israeli patriot who's looking at the facts as they are. And when you're talking about a two-way war, and then you just totally ignore what the other side does, and you don't talk about them hiding in hospitals, which is a fact. You don't talk about them using human shields, which is a fact. That's just sloppy and slanted work. You can't deny that, surely.
That's just whataboutery, isn't it? I mean, you're not engaging with the behavior of your own forces. Now, let's go on to next week. Britain, France, Canada, Australia, and Belgium are all going to recognize a Palestinian state. You have this report. You have the General Assembly resolution calling for a two-state solution. Are you not taking any of this as a sign that the rest of the world doesn't agree with you anymore?
Oh, no, I'm very cognizant of that. And I have my own criticism on the war. I think this war should have ended 3 months into the war. We could have done a much quicker job. As I said, Israel's a democracy. I think the current government needs to be replaced. But in terms of our international position, look, it's tough. But I'd rather have my children live and be unpopular than have them killed and be beloved in the world.
Naftali Bennett is probably going to be running for the Prime Minister of Israel. And he's trying to make a distinction between himself and Bibi and how he would have carried on the war. And that's fine. But when asked about the genocide claim, everyone is on the same page, because every single human being that has a thinking mind and is following the situation, not just seeing random pictures and reels and whatnot coming in from social media, but people who are really following it on a daily basis, know that there are millions of tons of food going in. They know that Israel warns everybody to get out. They know that the population has grown over the years in Gaza. So they know that there's no genocide going on. Yes, war is sad and war is terrible, and this war should have been over a long time ago. I don't think anybody is debating that. But this guy, this reporter, says, oh, you're bringing up the same talking points. Well, because they're talking about something that happened months ago. And so the answer that was correct 6 months ago or a year ago is still correct now, because truth doesn't change, right? Correctness doesn't change. It's not, well, that's the point you made 6 months ago. Well, it was true then also. And so, oh goodness, the media. And then they talk about the two-state solution. Who exactly is going to be the representatives that are dialoguing in this two-state solution? Who's running? Which moderate Palestinian group is running this two-state solution that is being made? Not Hamas, right? Everyone says it shouldn't be Hamas. Okay, fine. Well, even the more moderate group, like the Palestinian Authority, or Mahmoud Abbas, who's in the 20th year of his 4-year election, Mahmoud Abbas, the more moderate group, still pays pay for slay. That means if someone from the Palestinian Authority, if they go into Israel and they kill somebody, if they murder somebody, the family is compensated for that crime. Their family is compensated for the murder, for the terrorist activity. This is the more moderate group. Who exactly is Israel supposed to be dealing with and making discussions about two-state solutions? It's very easy for Belgium and Australia and Canada to jump on board and say, well, we think that there should be a two-state solution. It's very easy when you're thousands and thousands of miles away and don't really have to be involved in the nitty-gritty of actually making the arrangements and living next door to people that want to kill you. It's so just tired. It's such a tired argument. It's such tired perspectives. They just keep saying, bringing the same things up over and over, the same responses over and over. It's like, it really is like talking to a wall. I hope to God that this war is over yesterday. I, like every other normal, sane person, wants this war to end as soon as humanly possible. It needs to end in a way where Hamas does not continue to be a threat to the Israelis that are living there, which is being worked on, and the hostages need to be released. That's the same objective since the beginning. I don't know. I'd love to hear your comments in the comments below, and if you like this content overall, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Take care.